Hey y'all, it's Shanita, and I help high-achieving millennial women of color get unstuck, build their confidence, and maximize their potential. And today we're going to be talking about 3 ways to deal with a toxic work environment. So what is a toxic work environment? A toxic work environment could be a place where you feel like you aren't validated, where you feel like you aren't appreciated, a place that is impacting your mental, emotional, spiritual, and yes, even your physical health. You could be the only woman at your job. You could be the only person of color at your job, and you feel like your voice is constantly being muffled out by your colleagues. It could be a place where all of your coworkers and your supervisors are burnt out and grumpy, and everybody has a bad attitude, and it's a place that every time you think about going there, your stomach gets tied up in knots. So how do you deal with that? Well, I've got some tips for you. The first way to deal with the toxic work environment is all about getting your attitude together. So one way you do that is having a solid morning routine. Now, I already did a video on 5 things to incorporate in your morning routine, so I'm not really going to go back down that road, but I will tell you, starting your day off with prayer or meditation or reading your Bible, something that's going to give you peace the first thing when you wake up in the morning. Do that. Listen to something inspirational, motivational, something that's going to get you in the right headspace. There's research out there that lets us know the way that we start our morning, the first hour of our day, sets the tone for the rest of our day. You have to have a solid morning routine. If you don't go to work in the morning, right after you wake up, something you might consider is also incorporating good self-care regimen throughout your day. The second way to deal with a toxic work environment is to not join the complain circle. Now listen, I know that we like to bond with other people over our shared pain and frustration. But the thing about that is it really impacts your mood. You don't always have to join in with everyone when they're griping and complaining. Sometimes that might mean staying at your desk. Sometimes that might mean putting your headphones in or having a lunch by yourself. Whatever it is that you have to do to insulate yourself from the drama, from the negative vibes, you have to do that. Another way to avoid the complaint circle is to find other ways to connect with your coworkers and colleagues. You can be the one that changes the atmosphere in that place. Find other ways to bond and connect besides complaining. The third way to deal with a toxic work environment is to remember that you can make a different choice. Choosing to walk away from a position that's unhealthy for you in an environment that feels toxic does not mean that you failed. It doesn't mean that you weren't good enough or that you couldn't do it. It means that you made a different choice. So many times we stay in situations because we're trying to prove something. The best way to prove something to yourself that's worthwhile is to prove to yourself that you'll do anything that it takes to take care of you. If you don't do it, who else will? So let's do a quick review. 3 ways to deal with the toxic work environment. 1, have a morning and self-care routine that nourishes you and makes you feel good. 2, don't join the complaint circle. Find other ways to bond with your colleagues. And 3, recognize that at any time you can make a different choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, until next time, continue to remain on your ceaseless pursuit of your God-given purpose, and don't let anything or anyone take you off course, not even yourself.